Good afternoon, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and we have a brand new machine monster to go over today out of Famine Nightmare. I will say this, the card art for this card is absolutely cool. It's a steampunk dragon. Honestly, it's gold, and it kind of reminds me of a book I read. I think it was one of the Percy Jackson books, but it wasn't Percy Jackson. It was like Jason the Argonauts, I think. And I think one of the first books they had they rode like a mechanized dragon. I really don't remember. I was like in middle school when I read it, but this is what it reminds me of, and it looks pretty cool. So this card is 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense, and you can only spend some of this card once per turn. This card can be special summoned from the graveyard if your opponent activated a card from graveyard or hand this duel. So that's actually a pretty cool effect. So basically, this card has the ability to summon itself once per turn if your opponent at any time activated a card from hand or from their graveyard, which is a pretty cool effect. It does require your opponent to actually do something, so this card isn't that great going first unless you're expecting them to hand trap you. But most likely your opponent's going to hand trap you, and most likely your opponent's going to have some graveyard or hand effect. So this card is most likely going to be live. I just don't see it being live on turn 1 all the time. Now, I will say this though, it is a level 10 machine monster, so I can definitely be seeing this scene play in Earth Machine. You can easily get this card into a graveyard with any of the machine effects, and then your opponent, because you're going to go second with Earth Machine, at least if you're trying to OTK them, they're going to most likely activate a card from graveyard or from hand, and then this guy is just a free level 10 extender. Now, this guy on field has effect. If your opponent activates a monster effect, this guy gains 1,000 attacks, so becomes a 4K beat stick. And then he also has the second effect is, if this card leaves the field by any means except, as material, basically you put him back in the deck. He doesn't go to so you can foolish bury him from hand, you could discard him from hand, but if he leaves the field from hand, he leaves the field, he shoves himself back to deck. So that's the only downside to him. Also, you also can't be spent someone unless your opponent activates the thing from hand. But they only have to do it per duel. So if they only have to do it once, this guy's alive. So honestly, I think this card has potential. My only issue is that it requires your opponent to play into it, which doesn't seem too hard, but I can definitely see an opponent not playing into this card, and then this card is just a dead level 10 beat stick. So it's a cool one-of extender. I don't know if any decks will be playing it, but I like it. It has some cool art. Maybe it'll have a home somewhere, but I can't really think of one besides machine decks that are level 10. And they already have a lot of level 10 extenders as it is, so I don't see this card having a home. But that's really about it. I hope you all enjoy. Before I end this video, I do gotta address Konami's weird actions today. So let's actually get into this. So, Phantom Nightmare is a crazy set. I'm not gonna lie. There have been some crazy reveals and a lot of great support for a lot of different archetypes. But I feel like they've definitely gone off the beaten path, so to speak, because a lot of archetypes that were supposed to get support in this set most likely aren't getting support based on how many reveals are left, which is kind of crazy. So that's kind of what I'm going to go over real quick. For example, I made a whole video on cards that are expected to get support this set, and a lot of them ended up not getting it. For example, Transcended Drakes, Novellas, and Vanquish Soul. They came out in Wild Survivors. They got their first wave of support at Age of Overlords, and if every other archetype release goes in order, they should have got their final wave of support this set in the form of 1 or 2 cards. But it looks like, based on our reveals left, not any of those 3 archetypes are going to get cards this set, which is weird. Usually the next core set, if an archetype was revealed, they get their final wave of support, or they get their second wave of support, and then we go from there. But it looks like none of these 3 archetypes are getting their support, which is also weird. Another archetype, which is what the reason why I'm making this little tangent, is Gold Pride. Gold Pride should have had its reveals by now. I don't think it's getting support this set now, which is really strange because the other two TCG exclusives that also came out at the same time in the OCG, they got their wave of support this set. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, Gold Pride, Goaty, and Gate Guardian are all TCG exclusive archetypes that were released together in an OCG set. There was like an OCG set with all three archetypes as a bundle. Now, this is the next core set after that set. We should have got new waves of support for all three TCG exclusives. And we did see exclusive support for both Goaty and Gate Guardian, but no Gold Pride support, which is really weird. It kind of bothers me because I'm a Gold Pride player, so I don't know what's going on there. Maybe there's still some reveals left. We're not expecting too many cards for any of these archetypes, so maybe you'll still have some reveals in Family Nightmare. But I feel like if they still had reveals for these major archetypes, they would have revealed them in live stream. Instead, they revealed Raid Raptors and a Romages, which I'm not in problem with that. I think both archetypes needed support and some love, and they're fan favorites. But at the same time, I'm just like, you're kind of forgetting the archetypes they created last year, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. Hope you all enjoy. Don't do anything stupid. You all tell me if they're not getting support this set, what set are they going to get support in? And I'll see you all next one. Bye-bye.